So the fight is still on. They're still fighting for the #1 spot, but I don't see anybody talking about the real elephant in the room. Why isn't Vevo in this whole scene of TSeries versus PewDiePie? Somebody should be at least mentioning it to understand what all this means. You need to hold your breath. No, I mean, like, just breathe. Just breathe normally. But listen to what I say after this. Just keep along with me as I explain to you what really is the difference between TSeries and Vevo, and why aren't we taking the Vevo thing into this? Let's check. By the way, did anybody check out my pineapple? Somebody was complaining about, amping up the setup, so I got some little cute things out there. Yeah, that's a real pineapple, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it after this one. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Roll the intro! Talking of Vevo, you all know Vevo. You have been seeing that little cursed sign in all the corners of all the music videos, almost all of them, that you have been seeing from all of your favorite artists all around the globe. It's Vevo, 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 and Vevo. A lot of you already know exactly what Vevo is, but still I'll say that because everybody does it, You have to clear things up. Vevo is basically a conglomerate of UMG, SMG, SME, Vevo is just a conglomerate of UMG, that's Universal Music Group, SME, that's Sony Media Entertainment or Music Entertainment, and EMI. These three are called the big three record companies. Vevo has the rights to distribute the music videos of the songs that they produce. So basically, Vevo is not a producer of these songs, but Vevo is just a mere licensee and put them on streaming services like YouTube. First, when it started, it was like an app, a full-fledged website, which it still is, but they plan to be like that music streaming website, just like YouTube is, but exclusively for songs. But that failed and their business did not prove well there, and they closed down their app, closed down their streaming on the website, and they exclusively now stream via YouTube. Vevo also has one of the shareholders, Alphabet. Google and Vevo are in a partnership with each other. They have a mutual agreement for revenue distribution, which is much higher than what we artists independently get. That's it. That's what Vevo does. They have no hands in the production of the video. They have no role in getting the artist or producing the music or even composing it or anything. They take the videos and put them on YouTube. Of course, it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of other things, the licenses and everything, and the rights and agreements. But simply put, Vevo just puts their videos on YouTube. But on the other hand, TSeries, oh my god, they produce the music, they put it online, they sell it online, they do whatever the hell they want. They don't have just the video streaming rights, but they have the video selling rights, that's the rights of the songs, and they actually are the copyright holders of everything in the music video. Basically put, Vevo is Vevo and TSeries is not the Vevo of India. Now, while the music scene in the West is mostly derived by artists, songs are produced independently, just a song, and a couple of songs in the form of an album. But things, they do work a bit differently in India. In India, the music scene is derived, majority of it, I'm not saying like all of it, but the biggest majority of it is driven by Bollywood, and it has been driven it has been driven by Bollywood for all these years, over and over and over again. And even in this generation of millennials, we still have the majority of the songs that we like coming from Bollywood. Now, take a deep breath, let that all sink in. While in the West, the popularity of a song is driven and all the hype is round about the artist himself, on what the artist is going to do, and sometimes we have a cameo of some actor in a music video, but that's very rare. Mostly it's the artist himself, and the biggest hits of Billboard every single time, almost every time, no cameos ever. They're just good songs in between artists, collaborations, two artists, one artist, but it's just the artists. But what happens in India? It's not just the artist that means a song is a hit. A lot of things, a lot more things do determine if the song is really a sleeper or it's a hit. I'm not saying again that it's not the artist's talent that's not appreciated in India, or it's not just the artist who is not responsible, it's the other thing. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's not just solely the artist that's responsible. You can say that for the other cases as well, but for the percentage of the hype around other things than the artist himself, it's mind-blowing. For example, if I tell you like this, There was this movie called Tismar Khan. The movie was basically. It was horrible, the worst plot I've ever seen in my life. Yet that movie was a hit, and not just that, the songs were hit. Not because they sounded good, not because they had some great artist or some different musician in speaking or singing in a very different kind of a way, no. It was just an item song which I've talked about in detail right here, you can check it out. It was just a song in which there was a big actress basically sexualizing her song, and the song was a hit. Because there was a famous actress, everybody knew it was her movie and she was in the song in a very manner. So everybody went on to the song and it became a super hit. Like everybody was listening to it all the time. And it happens every time. If you have a big actor, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Katrina Kaif, Deepika Padukone, if you have these people in the song is most probably, almost certainly going to be a hit. And if not, lose a few buttons at the top, lose a few clothes here and there you have an item song in India, and it also may determine if the song is a hit or a miss. People, they do care about the song itself, of course they do, but a lot more times they also do care a lot about the songs, on how they look and what's inside the song, inside. There are exceptions. For example, I remember there was this song by Arijit Singh, and Arijit's songs they're always hit in India because he sings so well. I mean, that dude is so talented. I'm a big fan. To be honest, those kind of songs, they don't really need such help, auxiliaries, because every time Arijit releases a song, people buy it like that. Not necessarily buy, that's a different topic altogether, but they just get the hype. The song gets a lot of attention just that way. And the strange behavior has something to do with the history. Because of its association with Bollywood, the association of Indian music scene with Bollywood, many people have not just been listening to the songs very religiously, but also watching the songs very religiously. I've explained the whole thing in a last video. Indian dance scene and Indian music videos have now become a part of culture of the Indian music industry. Almost every song has a dance and a lip syncing and stuff by those famous actors. Take this very interesting account of that old movie. I don't remember exactly when it was released. It was Ram Teri Ganga Maili, and it had this scene of a woman under a waterfall or something. So basically it was so sexualizing in that generation, and I think it even nowadays is. There have been accounts that people were going to the cinema halls multiple times to watch the movie just for that one scene. Yeah, people have been craving videos since ever. There was no YouTube and stuff back then, and that was the only way they could see that, whenever they wanted to. But things get really disturbing when it comes to the scene of YouTube. If you want to search for your favorite artist in the West, let's say Post Malone or Justin Bieber or Eminem, you just go to YouTube and you type in the name of the song, the artist, and boom, the song comes down. Now, when you get to this song, look carefully on the title of the song. Most of the times, it's the name of the song, name of the artist. But come to India, first the name of the song, obviously that's what people are going to search for. And a lot more times than not, they have the name of the actor, the name of the actress, the name of the film, and not the name of the artist. I'm really nitpicking right here, but these are the details that matter the most, and they really show you the intention of how the music is produced there and here. There are some songs I really love, and I've seen those songs there on the video, and there's not the name of the artist right there in the title. It really breaks my heart. It's not giving the artist their right due. It's not giving the artist what they really deserve. It's the artist who sung the song, who really drove the melodies, who really drove our emotions into the song and gave us goosebumps. And then the name is not even mentioned. Because why? They know people are gonna search for that song by the name of the actor who was just lip syncing for that very song. Yes, people are driven to a song if they just know that their favorite actor is lip syncing to a song, and that song is featured in a movie that actor is acting in. A lot of things might seem nonsense to a lot of people who don't know about this, but if you live in India and you have been listening to those songs, you can relate to exactly what I say. A lot of times people don't even know who the singer is singing the song. They love the song and they just search for the name of the actor because they know who is acting in the music video. Is that crazy? Now, where the things get even more disturbing, take a deep breath, because we are going to get into something that probably no one has ever told you before. That's an exaggeration I'm making. I learned it from Indian media. And I'm going to dig it in. It's money. In the West, when the songs are produced, obviously it's a very complicated process, talking with the managers, the management, then getting the contracts ready and everything. Of course, it's the same there and here. Yeah, I get it. But where it gets really different, I'll just make it very simple for you. If you want to get an artist to sing for you, you gotta have a producer, yourself, who will pay the money to get the artist agree to sing a song for us, right? And then independently we might hire a musician ourselves, or maybe on the recommendation of the singer or whoever he mixes good with, or maybe do a collaboration with a well-known musician. We get them, and then he gets to the studio, sings the song, and then we put this together and we have a song. After the song is done, there always, in every single contract, the musician
And the artist, of course.
always has to have a royalty. So what royalties are? You might be acquainted with royalties, some of you have not, and of course on the Indian side, because nobody talks of royalties in India, they have no idea of what royalties are. So basically, whenever a piece of song is sold, or whenever a song is sold for some amount of money, a small specific percentage of money is always directly paid to the artist himself. Depending on what the artist is asking for, or what he usually asks for is just completely dependent on them, based on their popularity, other stuff. Basically on the contract, whatever is written on the contract, they eventually always get a royalty. The same thing holds for YouTube videos as well. So Vevo and Google, they share the revenue. What the revenue Vevo gets, a part of that revenue
Say revenue, what's wrong with me?
is paid as a royalty to the artist himself. So basically, as long as the song is selling, as long as the song is online and it's being sold, the artist will always get paid.
For a limited time though, it varies from country to country.
And crazy examples of this are Michael Jackson. He is the highest paid dead celebrity in the world. If you have been hearing that statement before and it did not make sense to you, listen to what I just said and now it would. He's still getting royalties for the songs he sold back then. They're still selling and he still gets the royalties even if he's dead. What happens on the Indian side of things is there is just money paid to hire the artist, to hire the musician. चल रहा है वीडियो चल रहा है कौन भाई? दे आप बताओ चल रहा है ना वीडियो चल रहा है? मुझे इसको स्टोरेज कम है. कितने मिनट्स आया? 19. बस ठीक है फिर. But on the Indian side of things, you only pay money at the time of hiring the artist. That's it. The artist, the musician, they only get paid one time. A big amount, a small amount, somewhere in between the amount or very low amount, there's not a royalty. There's never a royalty. It might seem very strange to people living in the West. If you think that this thing happens to just the smaller or medium-sized artists, no, it happens to everyone. For example, Pritham is easily one of the biggest music producers to have ever lived in the Bollywood industry, the Bollywood music industry. He says he was hired on a one-time basis every single time, and he still is. What effect does it have on the artist? It's easily understood. They have to get desperate to produce more and more music so that they can just, feed their family. They have to have music productions every single time. This is where things get really messed up because quantity over quality always affects the type of music that's going to be produced. While the Western artists can focus a lot on producing one great hit that will keep on selling for years and years together, for example, it has been selling on for Michael Jackson, or let's say even for the smaller artists out there who are selling their songs even after they've been released years after, they'll still get paid for it. But on the Indian side of things, if he has to feed himself, let's say he gets $1 million contract, even though the contracts are never that big, that's all he's going to get for singing that song. Nothing else. The music production companies often in India hold the rights for their music that they sung. That sounds nonsense, but it happens. In the West, the Western artists still hold the copyright for the songs that they sung, for the voice that they gave, for the music that they gave. In India, once you get an artist, no matter how big he is, you just pay him a money, big or small, and he basically sells you his whole song along with all the rights and everything. If you're an artist, you can understand the creative struggle. You cannot be creative on such a recurring basis. For a music producer like Pritham was actually accused of plagiarizing a lot of songs from other sources, a thing here and a thing here, and producing songs in his earlier days, and for a good reason they were. There are countless videos on YouTube explaining how Bollywood songs have stolen a lot from some other songs, almost like a copy-paste, changing the language, changing a few instruments, and that's it. But like, I can understand this struggle. Every time producing a different song that the director wants, and a lot more times, just as Pritham said, not his exact words, but the artist, many times he just gets a request from the director like, hey, look at this song, I want you to produce a soundtrack almost like this. And it becomes even worse when they're not even paid on a recurring basis, not given the royalties and everything. In the majority of the movies I've seen Pritham. For an artist as big as him, so famous and so well paid, to struggle with this system, TSeries does it, Z Music does it, and this is the reason why T-Series has the rights to upload every single artist's music video onto a single channel because they never have to distribute any revenue afterwards. They get all of it. And the artists, the other people working with it, none. And for the same reason, Vevo cannot upload all of the artist's video into just one same channel. A lot of you might have had questions before like, why doesn't Vevo do all the videos on a single channel for all the same artists? It's for simplifying things, for each channel for a simple each channel for a single artist with all of their songs. Yes, it really simplifies things for them, because if you go to T-Series, yes, it is a big mess. You cannot just find out your artist just like that. But besides that, the big reason for them not to do it is because they have to distribute revenue. They have a different terms of contract with different artists, and they have to give it to them separately, and this makes the things easier. That's why every single Vevo artist outside of India has a separate Vevo channel, so that they are simply organized, and for the second reason, so that they are paid their own due without much hassle. In India, nobody cares. Now, the whole conclusion of this whole discussion is, number one, T-Series is not the Vevo of India. They're not just music video distributors. They're also the producers. They're also the copyright holders for the video, the song, the artist, and almost everything that's in the song. While as Vevo are simply put, a video licensing company that gets the music videos of the artists in the West, in the other parts of the world, and put them on YouTube. That's it. And the second thing, the royalties. Vevo always has to pay the artist whatever revenue it gets, a part of it. And in India side of things, including T-Series, they don't have to pay anything. If the video is small, if the video is big, if it's drowned, if it's hugely successful, if it's not successful, if it failed, if it did not even sell, they have paid the money once and they never pay it again. In all of this rumble, why I made this video even, just because being an artist, I know the struggles of being an artist and earning your bread and butter. It's very hard, especially in times like this, when I explain situations like this, where every single time you have to struggle for your music, every single time you have to look for a new project, and the other project, no matter how good, is just down the drain. It really gives me heartache. A lot of people here might also pick up the point that Bollywood is not the only music production in India. Of course, I highly agree to that, because right now Indian music scene is radically changing. In fact, the most popular song on T-Series channel is not from Bollywood. It's just an independently produced music video in Punjabi. Punjabi right now is a whole different culture emerging in India. It's getting so much of hype, and everybody in India is hyped about Punjabi songs in the mainstream. They are getting into Bollywood. They are paid independently, but the payment system is still almost the same. And I think that's what the biggest problem is in the whole Vevo and T-Series situation. Vevo is still a lot more responsible for the artist's well-being, and T-Series just doesn't give a shit. Yes, I just said that. It burns me from the inside on why this artist has to struggle so much. It's the most extreme case of selfishness on the basis of the music producers in India. It just blurs the whole creativity and brings a lot of bootleg into the music production scene in India. That's probably the reason why the music in India, even though emerging, even though changing, is not changing at that kind of a pace. Nobody wants to, honestly, nobody wants to struggle like that. That's probably also the reason why so many artists in India are now choosing to go independently produce their own albums and produce them, put them on YouTube, because they know if they go to a music production company like T-Series, they're never gonna get their song back again. They're never gonna see their song back again with the money, with the rights, or with anything else. If you just put things together, and if you compare Vevo with T-Series, put two channels of Vevo at one side, put T-Series on one side, with all the artists of India, T-Series will still fail, because Vevo is just huge. It's just not in the scene. You're just not seeing it virtually. And Vevo, even though does not seem like the biggest channel on YouTube, but it is probably the biggest channel conglomerate on YouTube. I've already explained before on why T-Series is so big on YouTube. I've made 2 videos on it, you can check them out. Thing remained unexplained as to what was the difference, what really is the difference between T-Series and Vevo. And I think I've touched most of the most important points. Trust me, I really wish this thing changed in India. It's really heartbreaking to see all these artists struggling. At the prime, they are good, but after their prime is done, nobody asks them to produce songs and everything. They struggle to make bread and butter, and they have to go to extreme measures to just survive. And that's just sad. These artists, they dedicate their whole life to music. They dedicate their whole life to things they love. For some years they get paid for it really well, but because they don't have a royalty, it just stops after they're done. it just stops right then and there. And the biggest artists are, they're still well off. It's the small artists that disappear and nobody talks about them. There are countless cases in India that you can see right now. The artist that was in a prime, traveling in cars everywhere in the 1970s or 80s, right now he's living in a very filthy condition and nobody gives a damn about him. It's just sad. It's not necessarily that T-Series is responsible or the Indian music companies are responsible absolutely for those kind of situations, but I think if they just pay the artists their dues in the form of royalties, it would just help them out a lot more. I hope you like this video. I hope you like my other videos. Go to the icon up top to see the recommendations that I had in this video in case you've missed, because my video was so interesting. And I'll try to keep producing more videos about different topics, and I think in the next one I'll be talking about the whole music scene in India and why it's so deprived and why I'm so disturbed about it. Let me know if you want to see such a video and tell me right down there in the comments. The comment section is awesome. I've been getting so much appreciation in all my 2 previous videos, like mind-blowing. I love all of you guys. Like it's really unrealistic for me to get that much of attention, and it's just I love you all. Thank you so much. Support this video, support the channel, look at all the videos, just subscribe and ask your friends to do the same. Hit the like button, press the subscribe button, ring the bell icon, do everything you can, and be fine.